If you feel it right down to your feet. Shake it round, move to the beat and dream away. And dream away.
Welcome back to Jeremiah's Kitchen, and we're still cooking in Brooklyn. Today we are making one of my favorite breakfasts, and that's granola. This is so easy to make, and let's face it, breakfast can be a difficult meal for someone with a gluten and dairy-free diet. So we have our gluten-free oats, coconut oil, my favorite nut, almonds. They're lightly toasted. And then for a bit of sweetness, we're using some honey. We've got some coconut, which I'm a big fan of, and some cinnamon. We have dry roasted and unsalted sunflower seeds, and then some dried fruits. I'm using no sugar added cranberries and apricots. Okay, let's start with the oats. Now, the measurements here today are not exact. You can be a bit flexible with any of this. I'm using 2 cups of gluten-free oats. Now, oats are naturally gluten-free, but are often grown and processed in the same places as wheat, so be sure to check your packaging. Next, we'll add in some coconut. Now, I love toasted coconut on anything. Ice cream, curries, it is tasty stuff. I've added about a cup. Sunflower seeds. These are cheap and delicious. You can substitute another seed if you want, just a big handful is plenty. Now for those toasted almonds. Again, about a cup's worth, and I'm going to give them a rough chop. You can toast the almonds way in advance and just keep a bunch handy for later. Okay. Dried fruits. Now these are going to help to add a little bit of sweetness to the granola. Just make sure you get the ones without the added sugar. That goes for the apricots and the cranberries. They have natural sugars, but we want this to be as healthy a granola as possible. Add some cinnamon. In my family, we use a lot. You can use about a tablespoon. I'm going to use a bit more. Okay, coconut oil. Now this is a great oil to have in your pantry. It does solidify when it's at room temperature, so it can be a little bit hard to get off the spoon. You can substitute a different nut oil if you'd rather, but this tastes nice. About 2 tablespoons is plenty. Now for the honey. I love it. But if it's already sweet enough for you, then add a little bit less honey, or no honey. I'm going to use a few tablespoons. Add a pinch of salt if the nuts and seeds you used didn't have any added salt. If it did, then you don't really need any more. Now, we're going to mix it all up. Use your hands for this, as the heat from your hands will help to melt the coconut oil, and it's just a bit of fun. Spread it out into a baking sheet thinly so that it all gets a chance to toast properly. And once you've done that, that's going to go into an oven at about 325 degrees or like 170 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes, or until it's all nice and golden brown. Once that's finished, you need to let it cool. It's going to crisp up at this point, so it is worth waiting. And about now, your kitchen should smell amazing. Okay, wait's over. Time to eat. I like to add a little bit of fresh fruit to the mix, and then top it off with some unsweetened almond milk. It's hearty. It's got heaps of flavor. And it's a really good way to start the day. Store it in a mason jar with, everything else that you might put in a mason jar. Thought for the meal. You can't buy your friends, but you can buy ingredients to make food to share with others, which makes you more likable.